jolly well. You're looking well.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the the 1, 2, 3. This is the third time we're going to do the Agony Uncles podcast. So this podcast is basically, we're going to get all your problems and troubles and we're going to talk about them. And this is a safe forum for you to talk about your troubles and text in your troubles. And a lot of people have been texting the pages, and hopefully we've helped some people by just problem shared is a problem halved. So over to you, lads.
Well, Pete.
Well done, Pete. We're on lucky number three.
Lucky number three.
We haven't got a court case pending yet.
Not yet, but there's still time.
But today could be the one.
Today could be the one, is right. Today could be the one. Yeah.
Today now we have we don't have as many as before. We have about 6 or 7 nice little problems that we hope to get through. And well, not that there's nice problems.
Well, they're nice for us because they don't really affect us. So
yeah.
Where are you?
That's what they say. They say if you had all your problems out on the table and everybody put their problems out on the table, if you put your problems out on the table, I put my problems out on the table, and Chris, you put your problems out on the table, we'd all take our own problems back again.
Yeah,
so
true.
So who knows? But go on, we'll keep it lit.
Right. Will I go bounce into the first one, Chris?
Bounce into it, mate. Bounce into it.
Right. Here goes. I had Oh no, we'll save that one for the end. Hi, buckos. Love what you're doing. I'm in a bit of a predicament. I've recently been chatting to this girl. Well, actually, it's nearly a year now, and I'm growing ever increasingly fond of her. I feel or know she is starting to feel the same for me. Nothing physical has happened yet, but I want it to. Only problem is, she is my best friend's friend as well. And I have a feeling he also likes her. What do I do? As his friendship is very, very important to me.
That's
I'd say the best thing he can do is just say to the friend, listen, I'm getting on well with you on. Fucking, I might throw a challenge in. And if he says, no, I'm going to throw a challenge in, he goes, let him throw a challenge in first. And if he doesn't get there, the doors are open for him to throw a challenge in.
It's so with this type of challenge, be shoulder to shoulder, like.
Like 10 paces at noon.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but I'd say that's no problem. And he seems like he's a sourdough skin, that he's even thinking about his friend, which is beautiful. Like, so I'd say if he just goes to his mate first, goes, listen, if he's friends with her, he might be just friends with her. You know what I mean? He might be into her at all.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is how I wrote it down. I've had interaction with this lad, and from what I can gather is right. His friend and this girl knew each other before she knew the lad that texted in, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And they've been nothing has ever happened between them, but he has a feeling that his best friend likes her as well. The only thing is, about a year ago, they got to know each other, and then maybe 9 months ago, they started to get to know each other more, talk to each other more. Then lately, they've been starting to ring each other, maybe even late into the night, and that sort of thing. So, so he's worried that if he does, he feels as well that she's starting to feel the same way, or might be feeling the same way about him, and he just doesn't want to lose the friendship with the friend. And he goes so far as to say, if the friend said, yes, I do like her, he's literally willing to put him before her, which I find he's doing himself out needlessly. What happens if
yeah, it might
What happens is she knows him, his friend, longer, and nothing's happened. So if it really hasn't happened in, we'll say, 2 years or 5 years, it's not really going to happen anytime soon. And
Yeah.
he might, you know what I mean? And he might be letting an opportunity for him to go with this girl that he likes because he thinks that his friend likes her, and maybe he doesn't. The thing is, maybe the lad doesn't. He's just friends with her.
Yeah, I think a conversation with his mate has to be like, again, it's all hypotheticals because he doesn't know if she likes him. She doesn't know if his friend and this girl like each other. He doesn't know. He's kind of in the dark. But I can understand that it'd be like daunting to bring this up in conversation with any of them, because if it does come out that that all three of them like each other in this weird triangle type thing, you're like, right, what do we do now? I'll move in together and have lots of sex. Maybe that. I don't know.
Maybe she could move in with him as well.
Yeah.
What was that, Steve? Say that again.
I said maybe she could move in with him as well.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, no, I think the best thing for your man to do is just talk to his mate. And his mate might tell him that this girl likes him. He might have the inside track, do you know what I mean?
I do.
I think he if he is his best friend would understand. And if his best friend has the same sort of feelings, and he was there first, well, was he there first? I mean, at the end of the day, she's the one that has to make the decision. She mightn't like either of them.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
You know, she might just want to be. She just might like chatting to the two of them. But your man has a strong suspicion that she does actually like him. So
he just has to fucking get stuck into this conversation.
Yeah, with his friend first, and say, listen,
Yeah,
no, do go about it lightly. Listen, I've been chatting to whatever her name is, and you know, I'm really starting to like her, and I was just wondering, would it be okay if I went a step further?
Yeah.
When
Are you cool with it, like, you know?
Huh?
You have to put in a way that, are you cool? Would you be cool with that? Because, you know, I know you've been friends a long time.
Yeah.
In the back of your mind, you might actually really like her. I don't know. You've never said that. Maybe he said something before. His best mate might have said something before about it.
Yeah, I don't know. He wasn't sure. He just had a feeling. He said.
Yeah.
But I say, if he likes the girl, never pass up. Like, you'll never regret the things that you'll regret the things that you didn't do.
Yeah.
More than the things that you did do.
Depends what you're fucking doing, like.
Like you're thinking of some dodgy things that you did that you really regret, is it?
Like people always say that.
How dodgy was it, Pete? How dodgy?
What is you'll only regret things that you didn't do.
You'll have bigger regrets for the things you didn't do, the chances that you missed. So he's as well to go for it. He's well to give it a shot. But I'd say not get his friend's blessing or anything like that, but just give him the heads up. Go, listen, man, fucking, I like her. Is there any chance you wouldn't mind if I fucking threw a challenge in? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he throws her shoulder midfield.
It might turn out that she likes neither of them, and she just likes their company or their chat.
Yeah, but exactly.
You'll never know unless you go, like.
Exactly. I think so. So what's the mode of operandus? Is that the right word? What do you suggest he should do, Cowboy, first?
I think he should sit his friend down. Listen, friends. Listen, friend. Because I'm not going to call out names. Been really getting fond of the girl, and you know, I'd like to step it up a level. I don't even know if she's would reciprocate it, but I feel like I should give it a go. If it's any problem, I'd like to know because I value our friendship more than anything. And if it is, well, go fuck yourself.
That took a funny. Sorry, I was moving a plug there. That took a funny turn in the middle of it. I was just like, "Go fuck yourself." Where'd that come from, Chris? What would you suggest to him?
I'd go in a bit of a different direction and just try and corral them into a room, and then don't say anything to either of them, and just start stripping naked, and everyone's comfortable. That's the best way to go. And if that doesn't work, not only are you just going to alienate the girl you really like, but you've also lost a friend forever. So you
brilliant advice.
Ruin it all, and you won't have any of these worries at all.
Yeah,
well, I reckon be honest with both of them, basically, and see where it goes.
I think so. Or else he could just send the two of them a flaccid dick pic and see what they think.
Yeah. And if one, you might get a bit of a surprise in how much he likes that.
Possibly.
Maybe his friend likes him.
That's true. Maybe his friend likes him. That's a possibility too.
That'd be a curveball now.
Yeah.
That'd be a right curveball. Pardon the pun.
Well, listen, more happy to them. They could have the devil's threesome then, you know?
No, listen. My advice is be honest.
Always is have a menage a trois.
No. But barring the tongue in cheek, I'd agree with Cowboy there. The best thing for them to do is just come clean to the friend and just say, can he go ahead and tell her how he feels. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he doesn't have to ask permission. He just has to say that he's going to give it a shot and be cool with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
You know?
Right. Chris, you won.
I do. I'm in a WhatsApp group that has I'm in a WhatsApp group that is constant filth. I hate it, and if I live, they just add me back in. Can you help?
Well, we're in a lot of them groups as well with a lot of filth.
It's a mental one. Steve, is your mic on there?
Your mic is just turned off there, Steve. Yeah, but he'll turn it on.
Those groups are.
They're disgusting. They're disgusting.
I actually hate them.
They're disgusting. I hate them as well. But for some people, I suppose maybe they might be living abroad somewhere. They might be in a different country. Yeah, I can hear you now, Steve.
Sorry,
so I was saying that I hate them groups, and Chris was saying the same, Cowboy. But I was saying for some people they might be living abroad or they might be lonely, and that group is a bit of crack back to Ireland or back to the boys. You know what I mean? But I'd say if you're man, just fucking leave the group. Leave the group.
Yeah. There is ways of leaving the group and blocking it immediately. So you just have. I think you can look it up on YouTube and stuff like that. There's videos and tutorials on how to leave a group and block it. But those groups, they're fucking woeful. For anyone that's listening to this, if you send a video to a group of lads where a guy has lost his dick, no one wants to see that, mate.
Yeah. Nobody wants to see that.
Or then or whatever, it's fucking strange. And
then they always send penises, some woman porn, and then there's a penis in it, and you're like, why? Why is that such a laugh? Do you know what I mean?
But it's
you laugh.
Not only that, it fills up your gallery. It literally fills up the gallery of pure shite. Yeah. If I wanted to watch fucking anal sex, I'd go on to Pornhub or fucking one of them. Not that I want to fucking watch it, but
you have it on the homepage on your phone.
When I'm shopping or when I'm doing a bit of work, or if I have the kids, I don't need fucking dick pics or fucking some big dark willy fucking that long sent to me. But what I would do.
Sorry about that, mate.
I get enough dick pics off you, Chris.
Yeah. 4 a day at least.
What I would do is I'd actually text in the group. Listen, lads, I literally my phone is my memory is shot on the phone. I have to get rid of some of these groups.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. Or what he could do is just mute it for a year. Yeah, you can mute it for a
But
year.
they still come through, Pete. They still come through.
I know, but I'm sure there's a way you can do on the phone the settings where you can block the WhatsApp from saving on your phone. I'm sure there is a way.
Yeah, you can definitely change the settings to make sure that the stuff you download from WhatsApp doesn't download to your phone.
Exactly. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's a way around it.
Put it to you this fella might have kids, like I have kids, and they're obviously going to get the phone sometime, or they want to use your phone. The last thing you want is for a 13, 14, 10-year-old or 17 or 18, even your 18-year-old son or daughter, you don't want them coming across these fucking shitty old video messages.
That dehumanizes people as well. Listen, I know it's like some of it is definitely going to be funny. You're going to find some funny shit out there, but some of the stuff is so violent that if you're watching it so often, you forget it's actually a real person.
Yeah, it's true. And then some of them have animals getting their heads chopped off and stuff, and you're just like, why is people sending me this shit? Like,
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like if it was a genuine group that meant something, like a sport or a soccer group that is everyone going to soccer at 8 o'clock in Bohola or fucking Swinford or wherever like that, where it's actually like there's a administration to it.
Yeah, it's the purpose, there's
a purpose to it. Yeah, not like in 3 o'clock in the morning getting fucking tits and dicks and fannies and people. The idea is that you're the one making the video at that time of night.
Yeah. It's a strange kind of phenomenon that's kind of come over the last, I don't know, especially with the smartphones. Porn is so accessible, and this type of filth is all accessible now. So
yeah, but it's I don't know. It's kind of like it's it's kind of the evolution of the lads that found the porno down the back of the class, and they're like, look at this. But it's evolved into you can send that porno anywhere in the world at any time, and it's saved on your phone, and you're like, Jesus, get this shit off.
Yeah.
Like,
remember years ago finding pornos just thrown in the ditch.
Did you find my porno thrown in the ditch? Did you?
I did, many of them.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time? Did you ever remember the first time you seen a picture of a hairy fanny?
I'm trying to think. Well, you obviously remember it very, very vividly.
Well, look, it was the best. It was like third class was never the same again.
Well, is that a communion present for you? Is it?
The communion present, yeah. My grandfather was an awful man. An awful man for the. I know. Listen, I think we all remember them days, but you sort of you'd like to think that you grew up from that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a funny one. It is a funny one, but I think it's always going to be there. Do you know what I mean? He has to just fucking block. I'd say just block it.
Yeah,
that's all he can do.
There's the social pressure of trying to leave the group and then making someone go and adding you back in, and he's like, oh, can't believe I'm back here again.
Yeah.
Do you not have to accept to go onto them groups?
No, I don't think so.
But the thing about it is, that's why I'm saying, listen, guys, I really, like, my memory is shot on the phone. I'm getting, my whole gallery is just, like, full of daft old wanky videos. And if I wanted to watch them, I could go on these sites and watch them myself. So I've so much on the phone, I just need to come off a few of these groups. Been great chatting to you. Talk to you all again. You have my number if anyone wants to. But the problem is they might start sending them straight to.
That would be a fucking disaster for him. But if he was getting forwarded every video because he blocked himself as a group, you gotta hand it to him. They're fucking
I
persistent.
actually came off Facebook years ago because there were people who used to tag me in the daftest shit. And it used like my feed was just like 20 or 30 tags of nonsense. So I just came off Facebook for about a year and then it stopped.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Well, I think he can just block them. There's settings he can do, and they will never. Like, there's two ways he can go about it. He can tell them that he's leaving the group and say my thing is full up, or he can actually physically put a block in, and they will never know. Do you know what I mean?
Or he could invite them
Well,
all
they
to
do
the
know.
gaff. All the lads in the group around to the gaff. Take off all your clothes and have sex with them all. And that's basically.
And
Maybe
say,
two
listen,
hours.
I videoed this, and if you send me any more videos, I'm going to put it up on fucking internet.
Yeah, all 20 of you.
Yeah, that could happen. That could happen too. Yeah.
I've
And then they call it.
I've noticed that without Mikey, we've gone down a very smutty line.
We've gone down a dark avenue, and Mike is usually the one that brings us down that dark avenue.
Yeah. But
Okay. Next question, lads. Next thing there.
have you one, Chris?
This one came in. I have no confidence with women. What should I do?
What age is he? Does it say his age?
He's just past. Like, he might be 18 or 19.
The poor old devil. Well, that that just comes. That comes eventually, and he'll be grand. Do you know what I mean? You know.
It does. Do you go on, Pete?
And there's loads of lads that don't have confidence with women. Sure, we've all been there. That's why half the reason why fucking majority of Irishmen drink is to fucking get the Dutch courage. Do you know what I mean?
True. So confidence
Ju-
is a weird thing because it's like an ocean. It's kind of over and back. It's flowing. It's not just one state of mind. You're not always going to be confident. Some of the most confident people I know, likes of you two lads, you've both had moments where we've talked and we know that your confidence isn't where it usually is, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, 100%. Like I was that 17, 18-year-old, even though I made up for, not that I made up for it, but I started drinking to get confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And the funny thing is, I was confident. Go on, sorry, Chris.
You were late to the party going drinking.
Yeah, I was. I was nearly 18. I was 17. When everyone else was drinking when they were 15, 16, maybe even 14. I was nearly 18. But I tell you what happened with me. I was a confident 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8.5-year-old. And then for some reason,
you were walking around the town with a leather jacket when you were 8 and 9, were you?
Your dad's leather jacket, smoking Benzes.
You had a fur coat and a crown when you were 8 and 9, rocking around the place.
No, I was in a country school, so I didn't get to see the town. But then for some reason between 9 and 16, 17, I just got like very self-conscious. I probably put on a bit of weight too. My weight used to fluctuate up and down, like up and down. And I had actually, as it came out years later, I had hypertension. So I was good at sport, but I wasn't fit. I wasn't able to run. And I probably put on weight. I'd lose weight, but the way I'd lose weight is to starve myself. And starving yourself, actually, your mind isn't sharp. And probably not sleeping well either. And that has an awful lot to do with confidence. You have to get yourself into a mental and physical, the best you can possibly be to be at your most confidence. And then you mightn't even need drink.
Yeah, and I think 100%. I was similar. I was kind of suffered with my weight as well, and I did to my confidence. And then I didn't drink till I was 18, but so that was a big shock to the system from not drinking from you're young and then drinking when you're 18. It was almost like I had my 14-year-old experience when I was 18. Do you know what I mean? Opposed to everybody else that had their 14 experience drinking, which is bizarre when the legal age is 18. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think another thing that shook me was I smoked too many joints as well, and that fucking rocked my confidence big time. The joints fucked me up. So maybe a man smoking joints, but I'd say what he should do is just a question of exposure. it's like if you lift a weight more and more and more, you're weak the first time you lift the weight, but then the more you get used to it, the stronger you get. So it's just a question of exposure. If he puts himself into situations where he's talking to girls and hanging out with girls more often, he'll just get more confident that way.
Or any situations. Even when I was 15, 16, I'd be shy about going into the shop and paying for stuff. My hands would be shaking with the change and that sort of
thing. I was the same. I was the same when if I went to a restaurant, I was kind of nervous in a restaurant, ordering food or something, or a deli. I was nervous,
Yeah, would have helped if you had clothes on though.
Yeah.
But no, I literally confidence. Yeah.
Sorry, lad. Sorry. I think that maybe that has something to do with the countryside as well. I noticed that people that grow up in the city they seem to be really confident at a young age.
Yeah.
Or is that just?
I don't know about that.
Is that a bad?
Maybe they're a bit overcompensating at times because there's so many people out there. You might find someone that's a little bit like you. We're all from a really small town, and it can especially at a young age, you can feel isolated. And this lad's a country lad. That's a given. But I think we've all, especially being in a small town, there's always a fear that someone's going to talk shite about you. You're always going to have someone yapping away that might, it's a difficult one, confidence, because.
But the thing about it is,
you'll only get confidence by being brave and doing something that pushes your boundaries. So you have to dive into it, and you have to take a chance. So if he has no confidence with going up and talking to women, it's confidence in that he's worthy enough to go out and find the right woman for himself.
Yeah. And don't panic either. Don't panic. This will all happen. A lot of people think, oh my God, I haven't got the shift yet, or oh my God, I'm 16 or 17 and I haven't lost my virginity yet. That's a fucking great thing. If I had my time back again, I kept my virginity until I was 30.
Did you what?
Are you saying all those nights that we spent together weren't worth it? That's not fair.
Honestly,
you're denting my confidence.
I'll go back to your point there, Chris, that you said about confidence being like an ocean of water, like it's ebbs and flows. That's very interesting because, like, some days you feel super confident and you feel like you can take on the world, and then other days you're fucking like, fuck, I would have bothered getting out of bed. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I can imagine that's 20 times fold for like a young lad, a teenager almost. Do you know what I mean?
But like his life experience is he's accumulating life experience. That's what will give you confidence as well. So that's why I remember when meeting, fellas that had gone away to college when I was in my teens, and they were coming back a different person. And I was like, wow, this person is so confident. How can I be like them? And all it was is that they were accumulating life experiences that didn't embarrass them as much. So when they came back to Swinford, they seemed like a different person, but they just didn't care as much to be seen as a failure or to do something outrageous or just to have confidence in themselves and to talk to anyone. Something might have embarrassed me as a young lad.
Yeah, and I think go back to my point again. It's about exposure. I think he just gets exposed and puts himself into situations that make him afraid or that test his confidence. He'll realize then that he's able to overcome them. Do you know what I mean? And he's able to get better. Do you know?
Then what you do is get a load of people into a small room and strip off naked.
You're just. Is there something you want to tell us, Chris? Is there something you want to tell us?
Is there something you want to tell us, Chris? There is.
To tell you, this room is going to be good crack later on.
This is an open forum.
This is got to be done.
I'm going to say three things on the matter. One is, as Pete said, throw yourself into things that take you out of your comfort zone. If people are going to talk about you, they're going to talk. You're just saving them from talking about someone else, and people forget very quickly. Whatever happens on this Saturday night will be completely forgotten about the Saturday night, next Saturday night. It's as simple as that. People just talk, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there because you're afraid of what people are going to say, because they will forget about it when the next person makes a fuck up. Simple as that. The second thing I'm going to say about that is don't panic, don't rush. I know I was joking about the losing the virginity thing, but like, there's no rush. Slow down. Just make sure that whatever you're doing, you're comfortable with. But also don't get into a rut where you're not putting yourself forward. But don't panic. If it doesn't happen next weekend, it's going to be horrible with this lockdown as well. But when all this is over, don't be afraid to put yourself into it. But don't panic about it either. Literally, these things will come when they have to come. And the third thing I'm going to say is, and Pete will give me this advice, and he'll give it to anyone. Keep the chi in. It's great. It's great for your confidence.
True.
Lay off the hand pump.
Yeah, well, it depends. It depends what age he is now. You see, so.
Come on.
It's a different story. It's a different story.
Can't have too much and a bit of an itchy trigger finger.
Yes, exactly. It depends. If he's only a young lad, he might lose the load in the pants. Like, do you know what I mean? But like, it's okay for us. We need to keep the chi in because we've done a lot of wanking.
Would you not look back at yourself when you were 13, 14, and 15 and thought to yourself, wanking 5 or 6 times a day is not natural? Well, actually, it is natural, but
it is. It's fucking normal enough. Like, do you know what I mean? But no, I'd say it depends what age he is. Like, if he's 27 and he's fucking on the hand pump fucking 5 or 6 times a day, he'd want to get a fucking grip, pardon the pun. But but if he's fucking 17, 18 or 19, fucking let him off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I just think maybe it might be stopping him from actually going out and actually finding a woman for himself. And did you know that, and you know this, lads, there's a different chemical released when it's actual sex with a different person or a woman, or if you're whatever, a partner, than it is when you're on the hand pump. It's a different chemical that releases into your brain.
100%. It's fucking want to be. You'd want your money back.
I can't believe that we've got 3 episodes into the Agony Uncles, and this is the first time we've talked about wanking, because this is a record for us.
I think every episode we talked about wanking, did we?
Oh, did we? Oh, well.
Well, listen. Yeah, no, I think I agree with you there, Cowboy. One behalf, but it depends what age he is. But like, he's still trying to find himself, so maybe like he doesn't want to go out with a complete fucking blow the fucking load all over the gaff.
Just walking around town blowing loads.
Well, anyway, that's my advice. Anyway, them three things: don't panic, don't be afraid to push yourself out, don't panic, and maybe try and keep it in a couple of extra times. Might help.
What do you think, Chris?
I agree. I agree to a certain extent, but I would when it comes to confidence, just do stuff that take confidence from pushing yourself into situations. So you don't have confidence with women, you really have to kind of push the boundaries there and introduce yourself to more women just in normal social settings. Like, I know the pubs aren't open now, but get on Tinder and just text a few girls. They might text back. They might, but that isn't the object of it. If they don't text back, they don't text back.
Yeah.
Just do it. That's the start of it, and then just take it in step by step. If you can text a girl, you can meet a girl and have a chat, have a coffee. Really simple. Just don't worry. And as you get older and you get more life experience, it'll all work out. It's not everyone was the same at that age.
What do you think of this? What about don't set your standards too low, but maybe don't set your standards too high at the beginning either. Just what do you think of that? Or would you go straight for the high flying fruit?
No, I don't think. I think he just needs to expose himself to just chatting to women. You know what I mean? I don't think it matters if they're, what his standard is.
You're not talking about flashing or anything. It's
like, it's like you don't have to go tackle supermodels, but if you could just find some girls to chat to.
Yeah, I think that's the key. I don't think he has to. He just has to get used to talking to women. That's all. And if he did a few push-ups and a few calisthenics and get himself fucking feeling healthy about himself, do you know what I mean? You know?
Yeah. I haven't told anyone to go for a run and get fit this.
Yeah, I know, but it would do him good because that'll boost his confidence as well because it releases testosterone and happy hormones as well.
Well, that's what I meant. That's what I meant, P, about keeping the chi in because it builds up your testosterone and you're more confident.
Yeah,
with
of course. But if he's only just a young lad and he's just finding himself, you know what I mean? I
It's punk factory anyway.
Yeah, he's like, I'd say just let him off. You know what I mean?
We'll go from there. Is it my turn now, Chris?
I think so, right?
This lad obviously has been watching the page and the stories, especially your stories, P. Well, lads, hope you're well. You're looking well, and a smiley face.
Nice.
I'm majorly attracted to my girlfriend's mom.
His girlfriend's mom has got it going on.
She's a proper milf.
Go on. What was the rest of it?
She's a proper milf. It's so bad sometimes I nearly blurted out. She is separated from her ex-husband, and sometimes I think she's giving me the eye. Any advice?
So it's his girlfriend's mother.
Now, this guy is definitely watching too many pornos. In too many pornos. Yeah. Getting the eye of the mother.
Yeah, like,
He just
tough one.
This lad just needs to holster altogether.
I know.
Back in the holster.
I know. Like this, I can tell this is split you down the middle, Pete.
It's a funny one. Because, like, is he imagining it or is there a fact there? But sure, if he cares for his girlfriend, he's not going to go after the mother. Like, if he really has feelings for the girlfriend, do you know what I mean?
Well,
so maybe deep down he doesn't have as much feelings for the girlfriend as he thinks, or it's just a bit of like, hey, she's a bit of crack. Do you know what I mean? Do you know?
Yeah, you're being very diplomatic there, P. I know you. I know what you. I have a feeling I know what you want to say.
No. I don't know. Depends. But like, he doesn't want to hurt the girlfriend either. Like, that's the main thing. You know?
No one wants to hurt anyone, and that we have to say about anything. I mean, no one wants to hurt anyone.
Yeah. But he could just invite them all into a room, take his clothes off, and do it.
Well, I didn't want to mention it, but
I knew that was your answer, Chris.
I can't see how it would go wrong.
What age is this lad? What age is he?
Do you know what? It doesn't say, but looking, I just checked his profile when he texted in. I'd say about early 20s, maybe late teens, early 20s.
Oh, okay.
So
I
don't know what age the mother is. I don't know what age the girlfriend is. So we're presuming that this mother is in her mid-40s, maybe.
See, he's not. At the end of the day, I think this is a bit of a fantasy for him, and that's about it. Like, let's be like, if he he can't go and do that to the girlfriend.
He can't. Look, at the end of the day, he can't knowingly do this.
Maybe he doesn't like his girlfriend as much as he used to.
Maybe not. And three things could happen. One is he takes a chance, and lo and behold, bingo, he's in like Flynn.
Christmas will be awkward.
Yeah, it'll be like it's trouble. It's trouble with a capital T.
Okay. All right, horse.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to
maybe like, okay, say he puts in a challenge to the mother, right? and she challenge accepted. Quiet. And she accepts the challenge, and he's with the mother for a while, and then all of a sudden he's like, what did I do? Do you know what I mean? He regrets it, and he's looking at the daughter, and it not only wrecks the daughter's relationship with the mother, but it wrecks his relationship with the mother's and the girlfriend. And,
social aspect to it.
I don't think
everyone's going to be talking about this.
Pardon?
There's always going to be a social aspect where it's going to be big news around town, and it'd be something he'll be kind of remembered for as well. Like, he's probably better off if he's into older ladies that are single. Go and get a girlfriend that's in her 40s and is up for a bit of action with a 20-something-year-old.
Yeah, I think this.
And there's of course.
Sorry. I think this is just.
Say that again, Steve. I missed what you said there.
I think this is just a fantasy for him, and I don't think it would be worth, breaking both their hearts. Really, no matter what way it goes, you're going to break both their hearts and your own. So it's not worth it. Try and maybe do things outside.
He could. Do you know what he could do?
What?
Do you know what he could do? He could save up all his money and get plastic surgery to look like somebody else, and just bring the mother out on a date.
No.
You know what? Yeah, that would be good in the long term. But she's also getting older by this stage as well. So going into guilt territory there.
Yeah. It's not worth it. It wouldn't be worth it. It just create, at the end of the day, it would create an awful lot of shit for everyone.
Yeah, and deep down he has to look at his own connections too. Maybe he's not into the girlfriend as much as he thinks. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe.
You know? Or maybe he's attracted to older women, and that's okay too. Maybe he needs to break up the girlfriend and date a few milfs, like Chris said, you know?
Yeah. But either way, cheating is not good in any.
Maybe it's just a fantasy that he's watching too much porn, and this is something he's on a regular basis, and it's actually not the way reality is at all. Like.
Exactly. Maybe he's just picking up on something that's not there as well. That's a possibility too. You know. But we'll give it one more suggestion there. What would you suggest to do there, Chris?
Bring the mother and daughter into a room.
No.
You don't get naked, but you ask them to get naked.
Oh, jeez. You get arrested. Get arrested.
I'd say just holster that. Get that gun. Put it back in the holster. Take the holster. Put it in a safe. Lock the safe. Throw it off a canyon.
Yeah.
You know, if he goes through with this approach, it's 99.9% unlikely it's going to work. It's only going to break up, ruin his own relationship, ruin his reputation.
Yeah. And maybe even ruin their relationship.
Of course. Yeah, exactly. So, the best thing to do is no. No, I think so.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely. I think it's not worth it.
Yeah. No. I'll go with this problem here. My girlfriend and I aren't getting on the way we used to. I don't think she finds me funny anymore. That was the first message he sent in to me. So I was texting, obviously it's a shit situation if you're not getting on with your girlfriend, or you kind of grown apart, which seems to be what has happened here. He was saying that she's become very much into the SJW movements and, the Me Too movements and the social justice side of things and Black Lives Matter. She's really entrenched in a lot of that type of stuff. And he's even the way he texts was texting the page, he was very anti-political correctness. So he feels that he should be able to say anything. She doesn't believe that at all. And he just thinks that he feels that if he says any jokes and they're kind of real left of field, hard, not that he believes it, but if he says something daft and racist, but he doesn't mean it, he in his language it's a joke, that she flips out that she doesn't want to hear it anymore, you know. Which he thinks that they just don't get on because of these type of things, which sounds like they're just growing apart.
Yeah, but it's a good thing too. They can have it's a good thing they don't get on too. People don't get on. You don't have to be with somebody that you get on with all the time and they have difference of opinion. That's an actual good thing. So if he's able to bring a debate to her and show her how ridiculous political correctness can be in an educated way, I'm sure she'd appreciate it in the long run.
And if she's not, maybe it's just maybe they're just growing apart. Like
yeah, exactly. Maybe they're just
all relationships aren't going to work. I think it's like, is it 1 in 10 relationships actually go all the way? So from your first relationship that you'll ever have, 1 in 10 will actually work.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean that doesn't mean. Sorry, I'm talking over you there, Chris. What were you going to say?
I was like, where did you get those numbers?
I remember reading that before, that like people will have at least 10 relationships. Most average person will have 10 relationships before they find a long-term relationship, or the one that will work, or their longest relationship. Now,
possibly. I suppose everyone's different, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't get anything out of that relationship. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Every relationship you should take away something. Every single relationship, whether it goes all the way or whether it doesn't go all the way, everyone should take something positive away from a relationship. Whether it's 6 months, 6 years, or 60 years. You'd like to think you would have taken something positive away from 60 years, but
yeah, it might be
exactly
like you 60 years, but like it's a mad one, because these ideas of having really polarizing views is becoming so much more, I don't know, so much more obvious now. People that are much more becoming, especially because of the internet and social media, they're becoming very entrenched in their views. And on both sides of the fence from this conversation, it sounds like they're both kind of getting caught up into causes that are pushing them apart. You know, he's saying risque stuff, you know, and she just doesn't want to hear that. She's got very entrenched views on SJW stuff, you know, which might be a bit fucking soft as well, you know.
What's SJW? Social Justice Warriors.
Social Justice Warrior. Like he said SJWs. So, but when he was saying the cause that she really believes in, it just like he's saying that he feels he can't say anything anymore without getting a bollocking for it.
Yeah, well, if he can't express himself in the relationship, it's not going to work. Like, he has to be himself too. Do you know what I mean? He can't change who he is completely. Like, do you know what I mean? No. He can compromise. But if he can compromise,
if on the other side of that is, if you're saying stuff that you know is going to piss her off, man, you know you're just trying to get a rise out of her. Like, so if he's just trying. If he's just trying to antagonize her, that's not fair either. Do you know what I mean? That's not fair either. But they should.
It's gone too far then at that stage. I mean, the relationship is on the way down.
Yeah.
But the fact, Chris, that he texted in and he's worried about it, maybe he does still like her. I don't know.
Or maybe he's just after having a fight with her because he told jokes about black people and she didn't want to fucking hear it. And she'd probably be right, because, you know, maybe it's nuanced as he thinks it is.
Yeah.
Or maybe just like he has to. Do you know what? He has to sit down and look at himself and the relationship and see is it what he wants out of the relationship, and if it is, well then it's time to let it go. But if he thinks that he still wants to continue with the relationship, well then maybe sit her down and say, listen, we have two different opinions. I do still really, love you or like you or want to be with you. Can we not just agree to disagree and get on with all the things that made the relationship that it was?
The only thing I'd say about that is that the way it sounds, it's this idea that they're growing apart and she's got more entrenched views and he's kind of got this old school mentality, if that makes sense, that anti-politically correct, I'll say whatever I want and you take it how you want to. That is, you know, if he wants
Yeah.
like you have to try and not keep her happy, but you have to make some constellations as well. Obviously there's free speech and should be able to say what you want, but sometimes you shouldn't. You don't have to
Yeah.
say.
Well, he doesn't have to be crude either. Like, do you know what I mean? He doesn't have to be, because like a joke's a joke, but then there's elements of truth in a joke as well. Do you know what I mean? If that reflects bad on his personality, if he's making really inappropriate jokes, like maybe she doesn't want to be with him, and maybe that's a reflection on him. Do you know?
Like, if he's a big Chugsy Brown fan, then I'm not surprised she's getting thick with him.
Yeah. It's not the height of comedy fucking savant there, Chucky Brown, is it?
No.
But everybody like
the princess prick.
it's exactly. But yeah, listen, it mightn't be that bad at all. He mightn't be as bad as we're portraying he is. You know what I mean? He might be just sick of the politically correctness, and she might be just flying off the handle at everything. And then he digs his heels in to try and get an antagonizer even more. And he plays a character to be even more ridiculous with his outlandish flags.
If he's clearly making a joke about something ridiculous and it is a nuance, but it does kind of skirt some of the rules, but it's not in the intention of offending someone who's Jewish or Irish or black or, you know, someone that's of a minority in a different country, then she has to see that for what it is as well, as not a cruel joke on an individual or a race, but it's just it might be a better reflection of the society. And, you know, maybe some of these SJW causes, they are ridiculous. They just are. And when you break them down, they're like, it's sometimes they're a bit weird, you know?
Yeah. I don't know much about it now, but
if he's making sexist jokes or he's making crude jokes without any thought, maybe he just has to think a little bit deeply that he's actually hurting her in a way, like, because she.
Do you know what I think they should do? They should go into a room and get naked.
No.
Just tell jokes.
But obviously, she won't be listening to this podcast.
Yeah, probably not.
But
no, I reckon they should just sit down and have a chat about their disagreements and see where the relationship is and whether this is just one of the problems, or is it just one of the problems of many problems, and is it going in the right direction? And if they want to work at it, then they'll just have to agree to disagree or stop talking about politics in general and just do the things that made the relationship good.
Yeah, or maybe they've just outgrown each other, and she's into this thing, and maybe she's trying to find her own identity through social justice warrior stuff, and she's trying to find her own identity, and he's holding on to himself, and he's trying to wonder why she's gone down this avenue, and he was being the same as he always was. But if that's the case, maybe they should just sit down and have a chat and see if they're compatible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's a strange one because it is quite topical because people are so divided now on a myriad of things, you know?
Yeah.
It's so easy, like the way social media works, like it's going to bombard you with the stuff you like. So he says the anti-political correct type of stuff is what he's into. He might be watching shitloads of stuff on YouTube that kind of takes him away with the, you know, like he might be completely anti what her views are. She's watching the same and going down the opposite path. So she's going this direction, he's going this direction. So of course they can't have a fucking conversation because there's no nuances of we've actually got all these things in common. All YouTube is or Facebook or Twitter is showing how divided they are, what the differences are between them. And it's exposing those more than actually saying that they've got more in common than they have, you know.
That's the problem with social media. I think there's a show on Netflix in there on social media, but there's the Social Dilemma or something, and they discuss how the main algorithms or whatever that's designed, it just heightens our differences, and it doesn't heighten. It only works by dividing people. Do you know what I mean? So they have to realize that too. That they have to realize that they have a lot in common as well. Do you know what I mean? And everybody has a lot in common with each other. Do you know?
There's a big thing about, you know, the way the news has been gamified. You know, they've almost turned the light, especially in American news, where this rolling 24-hour news, one is Fox News, the others MSNBC, and they've all got this opinionated opinion on the news. So it's actually not.
Yeah, it's not unbiased. It's not unbiased. They have an agenda, like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like Fox News is the biggest program in America.
Is it?
Yeah,
Is it
because Fox News is it's conservative leaning media, and it's fairly right wing. It's a hard right wing propagandist ideal more than anything, you know. But all that's done due to the America is that it's divided people into more right wing views and into more left wing views, and it's actually telling people that they've only got differences. They've actually got fuck all similarities.
Yeah. But one of the main problems is, like, if I've got let's say on a minute level, if I've got a problem with you, right, Chris, or I have a problem with Stephen, and we disagree on something, but we're like, I'm going to get 500 people that disagree with you to back me up, and then I'm going to get 500 people. You're going to get 500 people that back you up, instead of me meeting you and going, oh, listen, we don't agree with it, but listen, let's try and make something that we both agree on to better society. Do you know what I mean? That's the way. But what happens with social media is it divides people. It doesn't get people that have different views to chat to each other. They're just chatting among themselves. It's like singing to the choir. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's like, and if he's entrenching himself with only information that he likes, because he's like, maybe he's a bit of a Trump supporter because he'll say anything, and that kind of goes into his, he's not a politician, he'll say what he wants type of thing. So he kind of likes that, and she's like, I'm a big Bernie Sanders supporter, and I'm a supporter of Black Lives Matter. Well, you're clearly going down very different paths here, and having a conversation will always turn into a fight if you can't try and compromise in some way or another.
Yeah, and if they can have just like an educated and, you know, a conversation where they agree to disagree, like, do you know what I mean? Everybody's not going to agree on everything. That's what makes the world a beautiful and happy place.
Yeah. That's just if everyone agreed, if everyone agreed with everything that was going on, we'd be very boring race and humanity. But the thing is, we can agree to disagree without hating.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's the most important thing. Yeah. I think so.
Right. Listen, we will. Have you any more, Chris?
No.
Hopefully that helped out somewhat.
Oh, there was one more there, wasn't there?
Yeah. There is one more. I think we both got to see this one.
Yeah.
Right. This lad is in the States. Right. This lad is in the States. Hold on now. How are things, lads? Living in the States. I recently found out this is like a double. This is a double problem, but he's more worried about the small problem than the bigger issue. But anyway, how are things, lads? Living in the States. Recently found out my dad isn't my real dad, and now I'm devastated. I'm only 50% Irish. To make matters worse, my real dad was a Mexican man whore who was good for nothing. I was so proud of being 100% Irish, and now I'm devastated.
But the dad that he thought was his dad, he raised him, didn't he?
Yeah, and he thought, like, his mother was Irish and his father was Irish. But he should have to find out that his dad that he thought it was his dad wasn't his real dad. But
sure, if he was there from,
he seems to be more upset that he's not 100% Irish.
Yeah, well, I think the main important thing is your man is still his father if he raised him and he was there since he was a child. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he has to worry about the 100% Irish. Sure, fuck it. That doesn't mean fucking bullshit. That's just bullshit. Like, do you know what I mean? He's either Irish or he's not.
Americans love that they want an identity. And
yeah, but he does have an identity.
He does have.
He's 50% Irish. He's American, Irish, Mexican now. Sure, he's got great numbers of fucking identities.
But look, in my thing is Irish is a state of mind anyway. Just because your father wasn't Irish, your mother's Irish. If you want to be Irish, be Irish. Simple as that. If you want to be 100% Irish, you can be Irish.
The being Irish thing is a strange one, because when I remember, because I was born in England, I have 2 Irish parents, and I moved back.
What? You never told me. Get out!
Get out! Me.
This podcast is all the truth.
Get out! The truth. Tam bastard you.
I want to be honest. Yeah, but like that was a weird thing, because when I only ever considered myself as Irish from a small child, because I was raised in an Irish house in England. All my summer holidays were in Ireland. That was it. 5 or 6 weeks in Mayo, or a couple of weeks in Mayo, and driving the car over. All my memories were
the car over.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, they got the bus. But then when I moved to Ireland, I was bullied for being English, and I was like, well, I'm not fucking English. But I had a little.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
So I was like, so this idea of identity and being Irish, I understand that it's tough, like when things change in your identity, because I was an Irish lad, but like people telling me I wasn't Irish fucking used to do my head in. I hated it. I actually
I understand exactly where he's coming from, even though I'm 100% Irish. Like I could see how, especially knowing people, like when I lived in America, there's a major thing about identities, about being Irish, or not just Irish, but Mexican, or like Puerto Rican, or whatever. They're more Puerto Rican, or they're more Irish, or they're more whatever than we are. So they hold that more than we hold the fact that we're Irish, if you know what I mean.
You know yourself, from when you go away and you meet Irish lads that are away from home, they suddenly have a thicker Irish accent.
That's right.
They become more staunchly.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it's because there's a lonesomeness for being from your miss home. So you I think they become more Irish, and they embrace Irish culture more. I noticed that with people in England and America too. So I didn't mean to dismiss his problem there when I said, but he should look at the positive. He's got beautiful Mexican heritage as well. Do you know what I mean? And that's a cool thing. Like, do you know what I mean?
Appreciate whether he's got good Mexican genetics. You know, that's like he's it's Irish. Being Irish is a cultural thing. So
yeah,
if he believes he's Irish, then no one's going to argue. He was raised Irish. You know that like his mother had an effect on his father. Like his father's still his father. That's where the real problem is. If he found that out, that I can imagine that fucking throwing your head into a loop.
Of course. And like I don't know from the text messages, did his father know he wasn't his real father, or is it just something that he's just after finding out himself and they've kept it a secret from him? I don't know. But obviously he's upset about that. I'd be more upset about that fact than, because if I wanted to be like in Belarusian, I in my head I'd be Belarusian, but whatever. I don't know why I picked Belarus.
But like, if he at the same time, if I don't know how, I didn't ask how old this lad was or anything, but and
even his profile picture is his landscape picture, so it was hard to figure out.
He at the end of the day, if he was born into two pasty white red-haired Irish people, and he's got a complexion like Antonio Banderas.
He's doing all right
for a while. Like he might have known for a while if he looks like some real Mexican like
Adonis,
and he might have looked out like.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think initially it's probably he feels like he's lost a bit of his identity and he forgets who he is. But underneath it all, I think he'll realise that he's had a great childhood with 2 Irish parents, and I think it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? If he believes he's Irish, he's Irish. It's a state of mind, like you said. It's a cultural thing as well. You know.
Yeah.
And I think the best thing can do is they can all get into a room together.
Yeah. Especially
take off all their clothes.
Especially with his father being a man whore. That's like.
Exactly.
Right, lads. This is the first first podcast of 2 we're going to be doing today. We're going to be doing the next one with the big red machine himself.
Yes.
Martin Maloney. And we're going to be doing that soon. But this one has been the 3rd Agony Uncle podcast. Hope you've all enjoyed it. Hope we have helped out in somewhat way as best we can. Like that as well. We like what people say. We're not 100%. We're not 100% professionals. We're not professionals. And if these problems are still affecting you, look, there's loads of numbers to ring. Don't be afraid to ring, and keep contacting the page as well. We're only here to help. We're like as best we can. This is going to be going up where first, Chris.
We'll put this up on Patreon and on YouTube. So please
Yeah.
like and subscribe to our YouTube page, and please become a Patreon. It does actually make a huge difference to us. Actually.
Yeah. It'll get. We've got our microphones. We've got our microphones now, although we haven't hooked them up yet. But we're waiting for you to come back. Yeah. So with microphones, we have everything now. We just need to put it all together. It helps out greatly on the quality of lighting, sound, and everything like that. And the bigger our YouTube page gets, the bigger and the better podcast we can do with people. People will want to do it from all over the world, not just Agony Uncles. We done a beautiful one there with Darren Conway. It went very well. We've Martin's one coming up now, and we've a couple of big names lined up. But we want to get bigger and bigger and bigger so that we can get the big names in.
Yeah, exactly. And if you support the Patreon, we'll be able to get better gear, and then eventually we can go to Turkey and get hair restorations.
I need
Mikey said he'd stop. If we don't get patrons, he's going to stop sending dick pics.
Yeah.
So
he's going to get the production if you don't become a Patreon as well.
Exactly. Well, that's good stuff, lads. I think that went well. And remember, anybody watching, that we're not professionals, and we're just a bunch of lads that talk about dicks and wanking, and we're trying to steer it away from the wank jokes. But listen, so it's past.
Are we done? All right, we'll leave it there, lads.
We'll leave it there.
Guys.
Good stuff, guys. Good stuff.
we'll chat to you in a while.
How are you getting on? You well?